Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I'm your host, Charles. Along with me, as always, my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, gunner, navigator, orator, and podcasting associate, Jacob Gloth. How you doing today, Jacob?
I am swell, Charles. Excited for another episode of the podcast. We pitch new TV shows every single week. New storylines, new characters, new worlds, all that fun stuff packaged into these exciting little pilots that we come up with, and the season-long arcs as well. And today, Charlie, it is your turn. You have come up with a brand new pitch for us today with a title that is...
No sleep, no rest, no future.
Ooh. I'm
Did you like
excited
that,
for this
Jake?
one. I sort of, because you sounded sleepy as you said it, so I don't know if that was intentional or if you're just a groggy man, but it...
No, it's not the grogginess. I was holding my breath because I don't know if you remember, but last week you kind of got on at me.
I was intensely waiting as I spoke for you to interrupt me. I'm glad you didn't. Charlie, if this is the first episode of the podcast you've ever listened to, Charlie always interrupts me when I'm speaking. So, he didn't that time, and I'm proud of him, and a little proud
Not always when you're speaking, but always when you're, like, I do the intro, and then you do, like, a secondary intro where you actually explain what we do on the show, and I usually interrupt it. But last week I was explained how deeply it affects you emotionally, and so
I don't know about
I've
emotionally,
endeavored
but
to
it
not...
is fucking annoying, is for sure, yeah.
See, that's an emotional reaction. Speaking of emotional reactions, I don't know if you did this on purpose or even, like, knowing it, but No Future is the name of a very, like, famous, like, sort of punk ideology, as well as a punk song, from the Sex Pistols.
No, because, like, Charlie, I don't know if you knew this, but sometimes words come from lots of different things, and somebody that comes up with a generic enough thing like no future, it's not from the punk thing. I'm sure there's like a 10 billion literary references that also include no future. So no, it was not from the punk thing.
Alright, well, fucking God Save the Queen is one of the most famous punk songs of all time, and No Future is one of the most
God
famous
Save the Queen
lines
is also a
that
song that is the fucking British national anthem. So let's move on.
God Save the Queen by the Sex Pistols is not the British national... But that's besides the point. I'm just explaining where the idea for the show came from. Was No Future, I hear No Future and I think punk immediately because I'm a punk fan. And so I was like, all right, well, how do we, how can we incorporate this? Why would you not be resting? Why would you not be sleeping? Why would you not be having a future? And my idea was that they are on the run, right? And so the concept, the premise, if you will, is... Our three young heroes who are in this traveling punk band are traveling this massive city, which is like, think of the mega cities from Judge Dredd, called the City of Zero. And they play punk shows at a variety of establishments to cause, like, more social action from the people through violence and physical activity, right? Like, they play music at all these different locations to inspire, action among the people, among the populace of the City of Zero. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. But the show does concern our three main protagonists traveling this crazy, weird, like, pseudo-science fiction, pseudo-medieval city and being like, what's going on here? What's happening? This is crazy. And I do have I have some things that I need your help with. First of all, we need to pick a band name for this band.
You don't have it? Or
I have a really long list of band names, and I need your help.
Okay. I thought you were putting the pressure on me there. 2 Pence was my go-to name.
Fair enough. Acid Enema is the first idea I had.
Okay.
Chemical Toilet. Coal Stocking. I like that one. Future Shit. Nightmare Lover. Living Hatred, and The Agitators. Those are the names I have. I like Coal Stocking and The Agitators the most.
Okay. My initial reaction was was Chemical Toilet, because then you could say My Chemical Toilet, and I think that's funny. But I like the
That is-
agitators too.
How about this? We can make a joke in the first episode about My Chemical Toilet, because I hadn't even put that together, but that's hilarious. But I would like it if we call them the agitators. All right, the agitators.
Nice.
All right, it's a three-person band, right? Our first member her name is Sydney. She's a woman. She's the drummer. She's brash. She's angry. She's loud. She's pissed off. And she's a lot smarter than the rest of her bandmates. Like, her bandmates aren't all that clever. Sydney's definitely got, like, the best head on her shoulder. She definitely reads the most. And she's the most, like, politically active and the most pissed off, you know? About the way the world is. And then we have Dean. Dean is spelled D-E-E-N.
Okay.
And
Why?
he is... just because I think that's funny. Well, I had a reason. I can't remember now.
Okay,
but
well,
doesn't matter.
Now that you don't remember, that's kind of lame. If you remember, I wouldn't make fun of you. But now that you don't, I'm going to make fun of you.
Oh, I do remember. Because I named Sydney after Sydney, Australia, and then I was thinking of another city that I have a friend who lives in, and I was like, oh, what's a city in Scotland? I was like, oh, Glasgow? Nah. Edinburgh? No. Aberdeen? Oh. Well, I can't call somebody Aberdeen, but you know what I can call somebody?
Dean. Yeah, very clever.
I'm hilarious and very clever. He is a 31-year-old. Yeah, but that doesn't fit the character as well, and I forgot that was a name that a human being has as well as a city.
Yeah.
I almost went for Perth, but that was like, no.
That's a little much.
But yeah, Dean is a 31-year-old guitarist. He's a lazy, slacker moron with a very strong moral core, you know? He is kind of the big teddy bear of the group. The other two members have not lived nearly as much as he has. Dean has experienced the most, and he is definitely more like the dude from The Big Lebowski. Like, he's a little bit more live and let live, and like, he's still pissed off about life and, you know, pissed off about this crazy, weird city that they live in and the totalitarian government that they, like, suffer under. But
I wonder
he is
if
also
the dude is the character that you most reference beyond Batman in this. Because, like, there's so many times you're like, this guy is kind of like the dude in The Big Lebowski.
He's kind of like the dude. I do reference
Mine's probably
the dude
Harrison
quite
Ford.
a bit.
I mentioned Indiana Jones. Or Harrison Ford a lot.
You love Harrison Ford. I mean, I love Harrison Ford
Everybody
as
loves
well.
Harrison Ford.
He's the best. He fucking flies helicopters and saves people when they get lost in the woods near his house. Like, he's just a nice guy, I think. Yeah, I think the dude may be my most referenced character besides Batman or my own characters. Dean has kind of a Jimmy King aesthetic about him, you know? He's very... that would be insane if I started, like, describing my new characters by referencing older characters from the show.
Yeah, that won't be confusing for anyone.
That would be so stupid. Yeah, but that's Dean. He's kind of nice, but he's kind of dumb, and he's very sweet, but not the sharpest tool in the shed, not the most active. And then our last character, his name is Sin Eater. He is a man, and he is 16 years old, which explains the name. Also, he's a really big Spider-Man fan, and Sin Eater is a Spider-Man villain from the 90s, and I just think that's funny. He's the lead singer of the band, and he's a punk prodigy. That's what I wrote down here. He's got like an amazing stage presence. He's got like a lot to say. He's got a great voice and all this stuff. But he has a very narrow-minded view of the way that the world works. Like, he's as angry as Sydney about things, but his ideas about how to fix it and who's to blame is so super narrow. There isn't really any shades of gray in his worldview, and so throughout the show, the episodes are going to be introducing him to more and more like elements of like, hey, maybe it's not as cut and dry as you think it is. Maybe the world isn't as, like, straight up and down as you think it is. And so those are our three main characters. Those are the agitators. Our last character who plays a major role is Atom Smith-E. Atom Smithy. Yes. And Atom is spelled like Atom. He is the leader of the CCPA, which is like the overarching villain of the show. And the CCPA is the Coalition of Companies Persuading Apathy. That's the I was very proud of myself when I made up that acronym. I'll be 100% honest with you. I know, it's stupid, but I was very happy with it.
Okay.
The Coalition of Companies Persuading Apathy? It's great. CCP? And he's kind of like the big bad. He's like every, douchebag capitalist that you've ever seen in a movie or TV show. He plays golf. He's got like gross little shorts on so you can see his nasty thighs and his varicose veins. He's always got like some young thang hanging on his arm. He can't buy taste. Those people. You ever meet one of those people who it's like, oh, you have a lot of money, but you have actually zero like taste. You have no common decency or intelligence. And so you're just this like absolute douchebag who just happens to have a lot of money. One of those people, Kevin O'Leary, if you will. And I forgot to mention one of the fun things about the show is that each episode, the agitators will be playing a show. That's going to be the final, like, exciting, show off, if you will, of the episode is they'll be playing a show. And I think that we could get in each episode a different, modern punk band to write and perform a song for the episode, and just will say it's the agitators, but it's whoever. Yeah. Sort of Gorillaz style, almost. If you're aware of Gorillaz, the band, pretty indie, pretty underground stuff. But just in case you knew who they were. Yeah. So that and I had some ideas for punk bands, but then you got on at me for talking about No Future as being a punk thing, so I feel like I shouldn't read out the list of punk bands I wrote down because you'd get mad at me again.
Okay.
And
Jake
gets
Charlie,
mad.
I'm not gonna massacre you. I mean, I might, but who knows?
He's gonna get mad at me, everyone. He's mean. He's mean to me.
Yeah, I am. Well, I mean, you deserve it. I wouldn't be mean to you if you didn't deserve it.
I wouldn't hit you if you didn't make me so angry.
Exactly.
All right, so episode 1. It opens, right? It's black. And then it's slightly like the light's slightly like undim. What's the opposite of dim?
Bright.
Brighten up, and we see that we're inside of this disgusting like van that these 3 reprobates are laying on the floor of, right? They're hungover, they're tired, they're asleep, right? Their instruments are strewn about. We see that everything's sort of got like a pseudo sci-fi bent to it, but think more like Soviet inspired like brutalist science fiction rather than like cyberpunk, right? Like think that sort of aesthetic. So there's not really any color, right? There's not really any brightness. Everything is super utilitarian, and then our characters are adding the color, they're adding the brightness, they're chipping things off, they're making it more themselves, making it more personalized. And so that's the aesthetic we'll be going with. Also, we're going to reveal something cool about the instruments shortly, so just keep that in mind. So our 3 protagonists wake up off the ground of this van, and they're groggy, and their like head hurts, and they're hungover from a night of raucous partying and fighting the man and rebelling and running from the law, and all that fun stuff. And they're getting up and they're having coffee, and, they've got this, like, special machine that makes coffee super quick because it's the future. Press a button, they all get their coffee, and they're sipping coffee, and they're looking at the sun, like, as it peers through the windows of this van. And then they hear, like, a lot of machinery outside, and they're like, huh, what? And then the machinery's getting closer. And they at first don't think of anything of it, and then it's getting closer again, and they're like, what the fuck is that? And Sydney sticks her head out the driver's side window just to see what that is. She looks around, and then her eyes get super wide. We don't see what she sees. She ducks back in and says, "We need to go." And the other two dudes start to protest a little bit. They're like, "What? No, we just woke up. What are you talking about?" And then as she is hurrying them along, they feel the van get crunched on either side by this gigantic claw, right? And it begins to lift the van in the air, and our three protagonists start to freak out, and the agitators grab their instruments and grab the very few important objects that they own, because none of them are super materialistic, but they do have things that they care about. And they grab their instruments, and we can see that their instruments transform into cool laser guns. That's also an important element of this show. They have cool laser guns that their instruments transform into. And so they do this dramatic escape where they jump out of the back of the van as it's being crushed in this claw. We see that they're surrounded by all these crazy Gestapo science fiction guys, and they've got massive laser guns, and their faces are covered with these sort of reflective masks. And their uniforms, however you want to describe it, are very Soviet-inspired, very much Stormtrooper-esque. That sort of thing. Lots of black, heavy leathers and that sort of aesthetic. But it's still very much a cooler sci-fi universe. So they've got their laser rifles and stuff like that. And our protagonists are, oh shit, we're fucked. And then we see the van explode in the background because they had wired to blow. We could see it clocking down. It explodes in the background. That gives them an opening. So they start firing their laser guns at all of these cops, and the cops are freaking out. And they're, I do want the police to be slightly incompetent in this universe, right? Like the Gestapo is being slightly incompetent, I think makes it work a little bit better. Because if they're hyper competent, then it's like, why the fuck haven't you caught these three idiots? But they're attacking, and they are firing their laser guns, and it's a cool battle, and eventually our three protagonists are able to slip out the back as these cops are all fighting amongst each other, and they're wandering down this road in the city. And I want the entire show to take place in this huge mega city, but it is weirdly empty. I want it to be very reminiscent of walking around London's industrial district in the 60s, or walking around abandoned Soviet apartment complexes and stuff like that, where it is all this massive infrastructure, and there are billions of people in this megacity, but there's so much infrastructure that there are still parts of it that are completely empty. And it very in a surreal way that is weird and fucks with your perception of things. Is this a post-apocalyptic city, or is it a crazy, huge, busy city? I constantly want that sort of dichotomy to be being played with. But they're walking down this street, right? And they're very dejected. They're very sad because pretty much everything they own besides their instruments have been destroyed. And they're thinking maybe we should just give up. This is really, it's just one thing after another with this thing. Being bandmates, being musicians, fighting the powers that be, and trying to rouse the people into action. It's just not working, right? Maybe we should give it up. And all three of our protagonists are very sad, and they look very dejected. And then we can go to commercial break. Come back from commercial break. You've just, I don't know, what do people see commercials for, Jake?
You watch toothpaste ads. 9 out of 10 dentists agree that it was a good toothpaste. You saw a car commercial, and then there was a gambling ad.
Yeah.
Spend your money on sports gambling.
There's a lot of so much gambling. I watched TV for the first time not too long. I watched TV for the first time in a while not too long ago. Holy shit! There's so much gambling advertising.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's ridiculous.
Point, everybody gambles all the time on everything.
Do you gamble, Jake?
No.
I don't gamble.
No, I don't gamble.
It is one of the vices that I just say, no, I'm not interested. But everybody seems to gamble about everything.
Here, we can do our part, Charlie. Hey, kids listening to this podcast, don't gamble. It's maybe you'll win every once in a while, but it's really just a scam, and they always win. So you'll lose your money, and your house always and you'll get addicted, and you'll be sad. I mean, sure, it's not like that for everybody, but that does happen to a lot of people. So
yeah. And if you're interested, put down below what are the odds that Jake's next show is going to star a woman with a silly first name. If you win, we will pay you out $5, but if you lose, you have to give us $18.
Oh, that's a good idea. We should start gambling. We should start it.
Yes,
because you don't want to. I don't want to be the gambler. I want to be the casino.
We want to be the house.
Makes the money. I want to be the house because the house always wins. I want to win. I don't get to win a lot, Charlie, and I'd like a win.
In life, yeah. Me neither. It's okay. Well, sometimes
let's get back to the pitch before things get too dark here. What's going on?
So this is the commercial break. So we get back from the commercial break, and our band, the Agitators, they're super sad, right? We see this. They're walking around, and we see. Come out of one of these buildings, right? This band of kids, right? And the kids are probably between the ages of probably 8 to 14, right? And there's 7 or 8 of these kids, and they're fucking around and hanging out, and they've got skateboards and scooters, and they're just walking around like kids. And they notice the 3 characters, our 3 protagonists, and they're like, what? And we see the kids talking amongst each other, and oh my God, at first maybe we think, oh God, are these kids gonna turn them into the cops, right? What the fuck is going on? And then one of the kids, the youngest kid, goes up to the Agitators, and he grabs on Sydney's sleeve and pulls on it and asks her are you the Agitators, right? Like a little kid does.
Yeah.
And she says, yeah. What about it? Because, punks aren't nice. And she's like, what up, kid, you fucking douchebag? She assumes the worst. She doesn't call him a douchebag just yet. And then all the kids run over when they hear that, yes, they are the Agitators. And they're all huge fans. And they're talking about how, when they grow up, they're excited to vote. And they're excited to, do things and fight the power. And, they're all learning instruments. And they listen to their songs all the time. And they've got these bootleg CDs. And, oh, my older brother got me this CD of you guys, for my birthday last year. It's my favorite thing ever. And all this stuff. And all of them are, the kids just shower the band in adulation and praise. And, we can see it as it slowly but surely revitalizes their vigor and their desire to continue as bandmates. And they decide that, you know what? These kids deserve to have a good time. These kids deserve a fun night. And so they are asked to be shown the kids' school. And the Agitators rock up to the kids' school, decide this is where we're going to have our latest show. And so we now get multiple scenes of the Agitators working with the kids and the local punk sort of underground scene to put out the word that the Agitators are having a show at this school, and then they have to work with the kids to build a set and all this stuff. And we see this school is massive. It is a gigantic campus of a school, but it has an extremely small populace of kids. It's only a couple of hundred kids for a school that could fit basically a couple thousand. And it's just I want everything in this world, I want everything to be bigger than it needs to be. So just to give you an idea, I do want the school to kind of look like the Hall of Justice from the Super Friends cartoon, right? Okay. It's just way too big that it way larger than it needs to be. And so they do their show, and they're getting ready, and they get it all put together, and they get the show ready, and then our 3 protagonists are just about to go on stage, and the little kid, right, who talked to Sydney at first says, oh, good luck, and she says, don't worry about it, my friend. and she grabs the kid, puts him on her shoulder, right? And they walk out, and there's this massive, like, yeah, woo, all this stuff, right? And she takes the kid off his shoulder, and she, like, holds him up like Simba, and he's, like, having the best time of his life. And then she throws him into the crowd, and he starts crowd surfing, and he's having a great time. And then our band starts to play, and they play God Save the Queen by the Sex Pistols, which has the famous line, "No future," which is, you know, where we get the title of the show. Obviously, that's what you were thinking when you wrote it, and that's what I was thinking when I heard it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it causes this massive show causes the police to arrive in force and, like, everybody leave, the agitators have agitated, or whatever. Like, you know, telling everybody to disperse, but their music and their energy has inspired this group of people to action, and so we have a clash between the police and the agitators' fans, and this clash results in, like, a little bit of violence, a little bit of pepper spray and gas grenades and stuff like that. But the police eventually leave, right? They have been scared away by the numbers and the vigor with which the people have revolted, and in the commotion, the agitators were able to slip away in a stolen police evidence van.
Oh.
So, not only do they have a new van that they can drive around the city of Zero in doing more shows, it is an evidence van, which means it's full of drugs. And so, the agitators are gonna have a good night tonight. End of episode 1, end of the pilot, is the agitators driving away with their van full of drugs. Even though one of our main characters is a 16-year-old boy who will 100% be doing all of the drugs in that
Okay.
van, which is not good.
Yeah. Disclaimer: don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs. This podcast has always and will always be against drugs. Don't do drugs, everyone. They're bad for you. Don't listen to any of the shows I've ever pitched before, though. If you want the Don't Do Drugs show, go listen to Dead Man's Travels. Isn't that what it's called?
Dead Man's Tour, yes.
Dead Man's Tour. That's our most anti-drug show. That's basically our Requiem for a Dream. So listen to that one if you want to learn why you don't have to do drugs.
Okay.
All right. And now I have a few episode ideas for you, Jake. So, first idea I had was that the band gets captured by this crazy, like, sewer society that is developed within the bowels of this civilization. And it's like this weird, it's almost opposite to the society on the top, on the ground, because the sewer people are super colorful and super, like, personalized, and everything's unique to every single person because it's all made of garbage that comes from the sewers. And so it, like, at first is a very cool, very exciting, like, change of pace. But the agitators slowly realize that they are not allowed to leave the sewer society, and they are being forced to perform for the sewer people. They are also realizing that they are performing anti-establishment music to people who do not function within the establishment, and so it is just entertainment for them. Like, there is nothing greater, there is no actual, like, point of the music for these sewer people, and that really does begin to affect the band negatively, like, morale wise. So they do have to stage a awesome sewer escape where they get away on a jet ski, not a jet ski. What's the boats that they use in the swamp? Airboat.
Oh,
they have like a cool airboat that they have to escape.
Airboat.
Okay.
I don't know why. What do you? Airboat? Is that really what you just said?
Yeah. What else do you call it?
What?
What else do you call it? I
can't
typed
think
in
of a word.
airboat, and the picture of what I'm talking about just came up. It's
we're
called a
not thinking
fucking
of the same
airboat.
thing. Okay, never mind. I was thinking of something different.
Oh, okay.
I can't even remember the word of the thing I'm thinking of. But I guess we definitely don't call it this in the. There's definitely some other word for this. This
Well,
cannot be what people call this. Airboat?
Yes, it is. Yes, an
This is
airboat.
beyond dumb.
Well, it's southern. It
No,
makes sense. It's stupid.
there's
It's
no
from
way this is
Louisiana or
called.
whatever.
There's got to be another name.
Oh.
Maybe we use like the brand name or something, but airboat is the dumbest name I've ever heard of.
What?
Fanboat is
Why?
even better. I mean, I could see fanboat as
Well,
as a better name,
it's
but
an
still,
airboat,
both are
Jake.
bad. Not good
So-
names. Not good.
They
at all.
escape on an airboat, like that one episode of Futurama where they have to escape the sewer society as well. Okay, I've been totally knocked off my game because of
I
the
was thinking of a
airboat comment.
hovercraft is what I was thinking of.
Oh, okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. That why you thought I was an idiot. I was talking about airboats. Another idea for an episode I have is the band finds a kilo of cocaine, and they all have different ideas about what to do with it. Sydney is all about like using it to, fuck with the cops in some way. She's like, let's like slip it into their drinks, let's slip it into their food, whatever. Sin Eater, which is everyone's gonna make fun of his name for how edgy and stupid it sounds, and he's always gonna defend it with no, but like in 1996, a Spider-Man villain known as a Sin Eater was revealed, and actually he's directly tied to the firing of Eddie Brock for the Daily Bugle, and therefore his becoming Venom in the like he's just gonna be a total dork about it because he's 16. Sin Eater wants to do all the drugs because he's a kid and he's like, let's do all the drugs, and everyone's like, no, we're not gonna do a kilo of blow with you, 16-year-old boy, you fucking idiot. And Dean is more like, let's just give it like, let's just sell it, let's just make some fucking money, right? Like we need to pay for food, we need to pay for gas, like let's make some money on this place. And so they all three like have different ideas about what to do with it, and that leads to conflict. Eventually they split the kilo of cocaine into 3 segments and each take it, and we see like it backfires each way for all 3 of them in a variety of funny ways, until eventually they decide to just throw it away. They throw the cocaine into like the sewer, into the water, and then we see it gets a bunch of fish super high on cocaine, and that's how the episode ends. Another idea I had was, the band gets involved with a hippie commune that has taken over an apartment block. So they like rock up and they're like, we've been invited to play a show at this apartment building. That's pretty cool, right? And they go to this apartment building and it's like a little bit weird, and they have to like, there's bouncers outside, which a lot of apartment buildings don't have, and they get inside and they realize this entire building has been co-opted by this hippie commune cult to has transformed it. Basically, and there's vines everywhere, and there's like incense, and people are walking around naked. It's all, it's a crazy hippie commune cult. They are all into it at the beginning, but they slowly but surely realize that all of these hippies, don't do any, like they don't accomplish anything. All they do is talk, but they don't work towards a greater good. They only work for their own like personal well-being, and they're all kind of weird and smelly. And so the episode is the band deciding, you know what, maybe we shouldn't hang out with these crazy hippies anymore, and deciding to leave. Sort of like an Island of the Lotus Eaters style situation, where they're all sort of enamored with it at first, but slowly realize that it's a bad idea. And the last idea I had for an episode was a traveling city circus comes across the band, and the band plays an opening show for them, right? Just to open up one of their nights, and band gets paid a little bit of money, and the traveling circus likes them, right? They leave on good terms, but the circus develops like a beef with the band because the band keeps stealing like audience members. Like the people like listening to the music more than they like the circus. And so now we have all these weird, like, Soviet sci-fi circus freaks trying to fuck with this band in a variety of different ways, until they all come to a realization that they're all the same side, which is the side of the proletariat, the side of the common man, and they need to work together to fight the powers that be. So yeah, that's the show idea that I have. The no sleep, no rest, no future. I enjoy it. I think it's fun.
I enjoyed it as well. I think it's a neat little show. It's not what I expected at all.
Well, I aim to surprise you.
I thought there was going to be a superhero show. That was my guess. Was not a superhero show at all.
No, it's the other most done genre of show that I have, which is traveling punk band, because I think I probably
you've done that
have
twice. I think
I have done that probably a half dozen times.
Oh, actually, yeah, you're right. Because I have the Wandering Punks.
Yeah.
Punk Rock Vampires.
Yeah.
This one.
Mm-hmm.
Probably other ones. There's one where they're... I don't know. I don't think they were a band for that one. Never mind. There's one that people are space tripping, I think it was. But they weren't a band.
They weren't a band.
There's other ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. We get the idea. The audience knows. We all know.
Yeah. I like punk music. I like traveling. You know, that's the kind of person I am, Jake. And I refuse to apologize. Except for right now. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I'm your host, Charles. Along with me has always been my co-host, producer, co-pilot, gunner, navigator, orator, and podcasting associate, Jacob Gloth. If you like what you heard here and you want to hear more, please give us a like, a follow, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog, tell your cat. Remember, we'll be here next week with a brand new television series for you to imagine and enjoy, and the title of that series will be... Do you remember, Jake? I gave you the title.
Oh,
do you remember what it is?
Pretend like I hadn't already been told.
No, I don't lie to the audience members.
Is it because you don't remember what it is?
No, I remember what it is.
Okay, well, it is Imbecilic, a hero of time. That is my title.
Yes. At first, the title was just going to be Imbecilic, a hero. But I thought that was a little too curt. There wasn't enough to that. So, a hero of time. Yeah,
I don't know what's gonna be.
I'm
Probably
excited.
A superhero show. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe just sci-fi. Could be anything, but it's probably not going to be a drama about punk bands. So, or a punk band wandering story comedy thing. It's probably gonna be something else. But you'll find out next week on the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. And for now, goodbye.
Goodbye.